What's up, everyone? What is happening? All right, so just a little while ago, I was on Twitter. I'm not really big on Twitter or anything. I'm not a Twitter guy. I was just going through Twitter for the moment and seeing what was going on out there in the world. And I noticed Senator Kamala Harris from California, who's running for president on the Democratic side, of course, tweeted something out that I thought was it's just a little funny. I didn't know exactly what she meant. Wish she would clarify exactly what she meant in her statement, but it was a little, just a little weird. I'm going to show you the tweet and then dissect it in a moment. So here's the tweet. She said, "Right now in this country, we have students excelling in science who want to become teachers. They want to teach, but they can't. My plan will close the teacher pay gap and finally ensure teachers are paid their worth." I have a few problems with this. First off, kudos to the students who are excelling in science and enjoy the subject. Science is amazing. I love science. That's where I have this meteorite I wear around my neck. I got stacks of science books behind me, and I have telescopes back there behind the curtains. You can't really tell them. Can't tell. I keep them out of the frame. I was also part of the American Amateur Astronomers Association here in New York. I love science. Science is amazing. Astronomy is amazing. So kudos to students who are doing very well in the subject. It is a tough subject. But what she meant by students want to be teachers, but they can't. Who is stopping them from becoming teachers? I don't get it. If you meet the qualifications, if you have the degree, you take the test, you take the exams, you pass, you apply for the position, you can get it. I mean, is there somebody stopping these students from teaching? I don't understand. Is it like a form of bigotry? Is it like, what is it, like teachersism or something like that, preventing science science students from becoming science teachers? I don't get what she meant. It was just a very weird and bizarre statement. She didn't really clarify it. What does she mean? But who is stopping them from becoming teachers? And then she says, I will end the teacher pay gap. I don't think she understands exactly what she's talking about. I'm curious if anyone questioned her about this and asked her, what pay gap are you talking about? Now, I am very familiar with how the Board of Ed works here in New York City, and I'm very familiar with it because I have very close friends of mine, a handful of close friends of mine who are actually teachers. So I understand how it works. Now, let's break it down like this. Here in New York City, when you start teaching, you can start with a bachelor's degree. You will be paid in order to reach tenured, in order to reach that certain level where, and better pay, you have to get your master's degree. You're allowed to teach with a bachelor's for up to 5 years until you get your master's. Once you have your master's, if you want to reach top pay as a teacher, what you have to do is you have to earn 15 credits above your master's, and you will now be in position to earn the most money as a teacher. I think that is very fair. You are being paid based on your level of education. I don't know why anybody would have a problem with that. If you want to make the most money as a teacher, then you need to have the top level of education. They're willing to hire you with a bachelor's degree and give you time to get your master's, but you have to have a master's degree to teach. If you want to make more money, then you have to get a certain amount of credits above your master's. The more education you have, the more they're willing to pay you. I don't see anything wrong with that. If that's the pay gap she's talking about, I think she's very foolish in that matter. That is the qualification for any teacher if they want to earn top salary. All you have to do is comply with that, and you'll earn the top salary. There's no form of bigotry here. There's no pay gap. They're basically saying if this is the qualification, if you can meet this level of qualification, you will earn the most money that's available. If you cannot, then you're not going to earn the most money. It's up to you. Go back to school and get the necessary degree. So I don't see what the problem is with that. But I'm guessing what she meant by the pay gap is that the science and math teachers earn more money. They're paid more money teaching those subjects versus teachers who teach history and English and gym and health and stuff like that, art and music. And there's a reason for that. It's called an incentive. It's an incentive to get students to want to teach math and science because those teachers in those subjects they have become scarce. So teachers don't want to teach those subjects. Let's face it, if you're very good at math or science, why should you waste your time teaching for the Board of Ed when you can go into engineering, you can go into the banking industry, when you can go into the financial capital, you can go into into stock markets or something like that. You could become an engineer. You could, you have options because you're very good at math or science. Why would you want to waste your time teaching in a school where you're going to deal with students who are not very, very respectful towards teachers, where the staff, the board of ed, pretty much ties your hands together so you can't even solve an issue. Why would you want to go into the board of ed and teach these subjects when you can easily just go and work in the private sector, make a lot more money? Students become teachers because it's something they're passionate about, or something they want to do. So they're given an incentive to want to teach math or science. Hey, look, we'll pay you more money if you'll teach these subjects because we have a shortage in those subjects. Now here's another thing the teachers have to deal with once they become math teachers and science teachers. They're dealing with students who don't have a very good understanding of these subjects, and they don't care to have an understanding of these subjects. They don't like these subjects, and they think they're boring and they're too hard. So what happens is, at the end of the year, the students do very, very poorly on testing. So then the school does poorly in testing in those subjects. Then the district does very bad. Then the borough does very bad. Then the city does very bad. And then it goes on the state record that the state is doing very bad in these subjects. And that's what we're at right now, where here in America, we are the top of the developed world, and yet we are way at the bottom of when it comes to math and science. There's very, very good reasons to want to give incentives for teachers to for people to want to teach math or science. Taking that incentive away, you will prevent more and more students from wanting to teach math or science. They're going to go into something else. You're going to lose them. All of this is a trade-off. There's no real solution. This is something the Democrats don't understand, especially the progressives. Because let's face it, progressives are really nothing more than socialists. At best, they're nothing more than socialists. So. They don't understand this because to them, everything has to be fair and equal. And what they don't understand is, what's equal is not fair, and what is fair is not equal. This is an idea that they're not familiar with, and they don't care to become familiar with this subject. But here's the thing about her tweet. She didn't bother to point fingers in the direction of who's responsible for this, right? She didn't bother to say, look, this is what the Democrats have done. The Board of Ed, the teachers union, and education for that matter in this country is all left-leaning. It's all Democrat. We all know that. It's been a well-established fact for a long time now. So it's like, why didn't you point out your fellow progressives who are making all the rules for the Board of Ed? And the reason why there's a teacher pay gap is because it's a Democratic policy. You didn't point that out, but you know that if it was Republicans who ran the Board of Ed, you'd be quick to call them fascists. You'd be quick to point out the fact that the Republicans have a pay gap with teachers. But since it's all Democrats, you don't dare say that. You just speak in general and just move on. Really, what she's doing is she's pandering to the Board of Ed and to the teachers and to the teachers union, the UFT, United Federation of Teachers, trying to get them on board with her message. But I would like to think that they're smart enough to say, no, woman, listen, we're in the teaching business. You're not. You don't understand how this works. I'm willing to bet that most teachers will say, yeah, we understand why math and science teachers earn more money, and they should earn more money. Maybe they want a raise and they deserve a raise. I'm not going to argue that, but definitely a math and science teacher and a special ed teacher should make more money because they have to deal with a higher level of bullshit. Not only that, but it's a higher level of study. It's a higher level of having to explain a subject, a very hard subject, to students. Now, I'm in college right now. I'm getting ready to graduate in July with an associate degree in philosophy, and then I'm going into going for my bachelor's. Most likely, it's going to be in economics. I started out as a mechanical engineering student, so I know full well of how hard math and physics is. I walked away from it because I wasn't willing to put that much effort into it. It was pretty damn hard. So I'm going into economics because I feel I have enough math behind me that it can cover most of the math needed for economics, and I do legitimately like the subject of economics. So I will be picking, most likely picking that as a major. But I understand how tough these subjects are. I have nothing but respect for people who can get through a math or a science degree. Hats off to you. You're brilliant in my opinion. So to get a degree to teach math or science, you have to be you have to be pretty smart, and you have to be pretty patient. And for you to want to take that level of intelligence that you have and that level of patience and go into the Board of Ed and teach that subject opposed to teaching history or gym or something like that, you should earn a couple dollars more. This is the incentive to get you to want to do that particular work. But she doesn't understand this, and she doesn't care to understand it because she's a socialist, she's a progressive, and they're always looking at everyone being the same and everything being the same and everything being normal and everything being fair and what they consider to be fair. Up next, they're going to just come out say that everyone in America should just earn the same salary, plain and simple, which would mean that the young kid who's stocking the cans on the shelf and putting, you know, with the gun and putting the price tag on it, he is going to make the same money that I would make, and I'm a plumber, and then I would make the same money as, you know, the doctor makes, who spent, you know, a 10 to 12 years in school and you know, literally frying his brain to get all the necessary licenses and passed all the state exams and everything so he can practice medicine, and he's in debt $250,000, and you know he'll make the same money I'm making, and everyone just, you know, everyone is the same, and this is the next step that they will go into if given the opportunity. So Kamala Harris is just pandering to you know, whoever's willing to listen to her pander. That's exactly what she's doing, and this will be just another failed policy of the left. Once again, they'll just ruin another you know, ruin more things, because that's what they're good for. So. All right, that's all I have. I just wanted to throw that out there and see what you guys think. Of course, everything I'm saying, I'm just assuming that this is what she meant, because she didn't clarify exactly what she meant in her tweet. So I'm just giving my opinion of what I think she might be getting at. Please, if you guys can, just in the comment section, let me know what you think her tweet is about. And that's it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.